Because if your standards were in the pits of hell, I'm telling you, you could probably be married by next month. There's not a lack of people who are open and willing, but when you want alignment, when you want divine connection, then the pool gets a little bit more dicey. Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Toks, and on this channel, I give you strategies and tips around business, relationships, and personal development. Today, I want to talk to you about feeling lonely during your season of singleness. As a woman, and from talking to other women, I can say that we are often pressured to be everything for everybody else while being nothing for ourselves. And part of that is wanting us to be palatable. So people want us to say things and do things that make them comfortable at the expense of ourselves. I am so grateful for the fact that we are moving into this soft life push, that this soft life is a movement where women are unapologetically leaning into luxury, leaning into self-care, leaning into prioritizing self. And although that's the case, there are still some things that are a little bit difficult for people to digest. And one of them that I've noticed personally and from others is when a woman complains about feeling lonely while they're single. There have been a couple of videos going around on TikTok of women being candid, crying, saying that I'm in my 30s, I'm single, I'm sad about it, I'm super lonely. And this is something that for me, I'm like, yes, finally somebody's speaking up. But unfortunately, the comments are filled with people being like, you should be happy, you shouldn't be complaining, what's wrong with you, maybe you should lower your standards, and a bunch of other annoying nonsense that people like to say when women are openly expressing the fact that they are lonely because they don't have romantic companionship. The sadness that comes along with the season of singleness really sucks sometimes, as someone who has felt it personally. And I just wanted to share with you some of the ways that I've been able to shift my mindset, stay focused, be motivated, and also give myself grace as I wait for my ideal partner. And I say ideal extremely intentionally because men are not scarce. Women are not scarce. Companions are not scarce, but if you have certain standards and things that you want, it does shrink the pool. Because if your standards were in the pits of hell, I'm telling you, you could probably be married by next month. There's not a lack of people who are open and willing, but when you want alignment, when you want divine connection, then the pool gets a little bit more dicey. And with that being said, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't feel these sad feelings that we do. So I hope that I'm able to help you, encourage you. And if you have a friend or somebody who has admitted that they're feeling like this, or you have a feeling that they might be feeling a little down in their single season, share this video with them, comment, let them know that you're with them and you support them, and offer them this perspective, because I think that it will really help. Admitting to the fact that you are sad about not having a romantic partner or being in a relationship does not make you ungrateful for all the other good things that you have in your life. One of the things that I have noticed in those TikTok videos, sometimes even when I speak to people personally, is that when I complain that I wish I had a romantic partner, I wish I had a boyfriend, I wish I had someone who I could see becoming my husband, is that they like to minimize that by being like, well, you should be grateful for the fact that you're doing well in your business, that you have your health, that you're happy in other ways, and that you're doing well. But I never said I wasn't happy about those things. At the end of the day, this is not an or situation, it's an and. I am grateful for all of the good people, the good things, the happiness, the love that I have in my life. And at the same time, I am sad about the fact that I do not have the romantic version of that yet. And this is one of the main things that you really need to shift in your mind, because even when people didn't say it to me, there was a part of me that felt very uncomfortable or ashamed in admitting the fact that, I am lonely, because everything else in my life was going well. I was advancing. I am advancing in my career. I have the most amazing group of friends. My family is healthy and well and loving. I am glowing and beaming. I'm the most confident I've ever been, but still, I want companionship. And that still sucks while you can sit there and be grateful for everything else. So I want you to remove that shame if you're dealing with it, of feeling like you are not allowed to complain about the parts of your life that aren't going the way you want because of all the parts that are. We can have it all. It is not too much to ask for it all. And while acknowledging what is lacking, you can also still actively have tremendous amounts of gratitude, joy, happiness, and peace about every single other part of your life that is going the way that you would want it to go. Another piece of perspective for dealing with the sadness of your lonely season is that fillers are a temporary fix. I get it, I get it, I get it. I'm not gonna act like I don't. When we're lonely, when we want companionship, when we want attention, when we want compliments, when we wanna feel like we have our person, sometimes because it feels like a desert, we wanna go for the low hanging fruit. But this is a short term fix. At the end of the day, these people who you know are not ideal, when you indulge in them too much, you are actually taking up space that could be used in more productive means. I'm going to get into more productive means in the next point that I give, but I think it's important to note that this is not the best case. It's a short term solution that can have long term negative ramifications on your perspective and on your ability ultimately to find the person who is meant for you. Some seasons and some moments of our lives are actually meant to be gone through alone. This may suck, it's lonely, it's dark, but there is something that you need to gain in that season, and to fill that space with distractions instead of actually focusing on what you need is not going to rush you through the process. It's actually going to delay your process, because instead of you gaining that information that you're supposed to gain in your solitude, in your single season, in your loneliness season, you have filled that space with a distraction. And those lessons don't go away. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that I am prepared to be the best version of myself so that when I get the person I'm meant to be with, I don't squander it. But if I'm filling that space with somebody that I know is not beneficial, he's not who I'm interested in, I start to get into this settling mentality of, I guess this is better than nothing. And trust me, as someone who knows what it's like to settle, you do not want to put yourself in that situation, because it might seem like, oh, this can only be, or this will only be for a season in time. But complacency does tend to kick in. And when you're already comfortable, even if you're not fully satisfied, you might be like, I guess I could deal with this person. I guess this isn't too bad. And just by having that space filler, you could squander the true opportunity of joy and true companionship, highest level companionship, which is what we want, that is available to you. So I understand the need for a filler. I understand the want for a filler. But at the end of the day, it's not a fix. It's not a long term fix. So if you find yourself leaning into that, I'd ask and I'd recommend that you stay cognizant of the fact that this isn't what you want, and do whatever you can to not put yourself in a place where you're filling space and distracting yourself from other productive means that you could be using your time for. Active waiting is another thing that really helps me when I start to feel the blues about my single season. And when I say active waiting, what I mean is talking to God, praying, figuring out what you need to do, meditating. So for me, one of the ways that I do this is that I think of the certain traits that I have. I look at myself as a whole very objectively and ask myself, ask God, ask my spirit, what are the things that I need to do to ensure that when I get this blessing that I want, I don't squander it? Because God loves us so much that he will withhold the things that we want from us if he knows that we are not ready for those things. He would not give you a blessing if he knows that that blessing can destroy you. Sometimes some of us are asking, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, maybe God is getting him ready. Maybe God is getting you ready because you have a few things that you need to do. Maybe you need to fix your attitude. Maybe you need to stop being so selfish, because those traits, if in the presence of the person you're meant to be with, could actually prematurely destroy that relationship because you're not ready. So for me, I actively wait by improving myself. I ask God, like, what do I need to be? I look at myself, I see the places where I'm struggling, and I work on those things, not just for my spouse, of course, but for myself. Because when I'm the best of myself, people get the best of me. So, me working on myself, you actively waiting by working on yourself, is not just for the mindset of, I want to make sure I'm right for X, my bae, whoever the person is, insert name, but it's also for you because you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to show up in a way that honors yourself, that honors God, and then eventually honors the relationship that you're in. So take some time and look at what you need to work on and get to working on it so that when that person comes around, you are ready to receive them, and your blessing is a blessing and it doesn't become a curse because you were so focused on what you didn't have yet that you didn't work on what you should have to really have the things you want well. And the final thing that I really think about when it comes to my single season is the concept of better still remains. I have talked about this quite a bit. It's on the ring that I wear on my finger. Better still remains is the mantra that I live my life by. And going back to the beginning of this video where I spoke about the fact that men are not scarce, part of understanding that men are not scarce is understanding that if you want to get specific on what you want, there has to be patience added to that. You cannot say you want something but not be willing to wait for it because something has to give. So when you understand that I want the best, I deserve the best, that's what is worthy to me, it gives you a sense of peace as you wait on that to come. So I hope that this helps. And I hope that you are able to find the faith to continue on the path and the journey, knowing that when you meet him, the one who's romantic, who loves you, who gets you, who is your person, that all of these lonely seasons will seem like milliseconds in the span of time, and the joy will overtake, supersede all of the sadness that you feel in those little pockets of loneliness that come up for you in this period of singleness. I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.